Excellent. I think that, well, I guess it's not exactly along the lines of what we spoke about, but kind of close, right? Or what you spoke about right now, but kind of close, and also has to do with just general, security and exploit dangers of using bridges. So please explain how Rosen avoids security flaws that have caused failure in other bridges. So you want to take a stab at this, well, Joe?
Sure. So the RosenBridge really has a pretty simple design. Okay. If you look at this year, most of the hacks have been either a failure of distribution in terms of like the set of actors controlling the bridge. In some case, I know in one hack it was like 2 of 5, which is pretty sad. Another has to do with smart contract logic exploits, where one side of the bridge basically had some vulnerabilities where you could manipulate the logic in terms of how the smart contract received calls. The other had to do with falsifying proofs, where the idea was, okay, we can make it totally trustless and provide a proof, and then someone basically created a fraudulent proof that caused the bridge to execute. So in terms of Rosen, we've kind of looked at failure after failure after failure and tried to understand, okay, how do these things fail? And what we did was we minimized the footprint and tried to learn from basically things that blew up in the past and what we learned post-mortem. Now, in traditional finance, you have kind of a two-step process where you have clearance and then settlement of funds, right? And those are usually two kind of distinct steps in transferring funds, in the traditional banking system. And that's a part of where the idea of a second layer of authentication came into being with the RosenBridge. Is what if we basically have these watchers that kind of act as the clearance mechanism, where they, their job is to see and report things, and then you have another layer or set of actors that basically settles or executes, bridge transfers. So our goal is to create those two sets of actors and basically try to distribute trust among them, where, we definitely get a lot better than 2 of 5, because that was a point of failure. Now, in terms of scalability, that's an open question, right? Where if I bridge between myself and another chain, I have to audit both sides if there's logic on both sides, and that takes time and money, and I'm in a new environment that I may not be as familiar in building with, and every time I scale to a new project, I have to understand how their chain works, how their smart contracts work, how their logic works. And so you scale vulnerability as the bridge expands, right? And so we thought, okay, well, what if we take this let's say, 2-layer authentication bridge, and we try to create a home base, right? To where all of the smart contract logic itself is in our environment that we understand, that we've worked with, that we can have, better assumptions on. And then we use Ergo itself as the mechanism for watchers, guards, and then we simply execute on other chains without needing as much, let's say, of their tool set.